Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. The opinions expressed in the following podcast are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide education and entertainment about the financial industry and the stock market. Enjoy!
On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, we discuss today's CPI data.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Oh, you guys know we only have a 40% runner. Hello, 40% is a fucking killing.
We've been compliant for too long. It's time we go to war.
I don't have a Roth.
Hugh knows so much about the market that his brain doesn't have enough room for grammar.
Hey, who told me about IDEX? It's going up a shit ton now.
Rob, 4%, baby. No way. 4 fucking percent.
You asked the exact same question with 2 words different.
It's like, man, I just got dick whipped for like 20%, and now that f***er's up like 50.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
I'm just making this voice memo to call out unusual whales to a fight.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us. Pennies.
Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity of Dips, and Hugh Honey.
Produced by Vinny.
And Christian.
Let's go, baby.
Welcome back to another episode of Pennies Going in Raw. Today is Wednesday, July the 13th. We're recording this around an hour before the market closes, starting around 3 p.m. Eastern time. And CPI is out. Came out today around 8:30. And we thought, we said we were going to play small going into it. But as we're recording this, the market's only down 40. SPY's only down 40 cents. The number wasn't good. What was it? 9.7% inflation.
I think it was 9.1%, which is pretty insane. Especially because the mark was 8.8. I want to say something along those lines. So that's a pretty big increase. And wow, I'll tell you, man. If we're over 10 next CPI data, I mean, this will just be insane. I don't really know what else to say other than, I mean, people are just gonna go broke with this. Like, that's the only way to put this. You can't really raise a family inside this environment for too long before you go broke. That's just the fact of the matter. Yeah. So that being said, I think that that the next thing is that if it truly is higher next CPI data, we're in some serious trouble. Some serious trouble, because then it's like we're looking at, basically if you get let's just say you get a new job. It's a 10% raise. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're making the same. So you could go from making $100,000 to making $110,000, an extra good buck, and it won't matter. So that's a pretty big shift.
What do you mean by don't matter? Just the fact that it's up 10%, like your dollar's not worth as much?
Yeah, it's not worth as much. So it really just doesn't matter anymore. So I mean, that's like pretty scary to think about. And the bigger thing is that if it does stay here, I mean, people are just gonna go broke. Like, I really just don't know any other way to say it other than that. People will literally just go broke. Now, that being said, I do think that this is probably the height of inflation, and from here on out, we should go lower. Because typically these things take time to kick in, and what I mean by that is like the Fed's plan and raising rates, stuff like that. But now we're starting to get to the point to where it's like that's only an excuse for so long, So now if it starts to continue to go higher, Now it's like, okay, now we have like a serious issue because now it's like, okay, now we have a serious issue because before it was like we could play the game of it's not that bad because the data's delayed, things are getting better. The Fed's plan will work. It's just taking time to adjust. I mean, there's a whole host of things. And basically, that only works for so long. And we started this whole nonsense in March. So if we make it through the summer and this like Fed tightening still isn't working, I mean, we are in deep shit. And that's kind of like the comments on inflation, and then the last thing that we'll talk about as far as, the last thing that's important to this is that because inflation is still going higher, and not only was the expectation higher and we passed that, but in addition, this gives the Fed the go ahead to be aggressive between jobs being higher and the inflation being higher and higher than expected. This gives the Fed basically full reign to, if they want to raise 75 basis points, they have to go ahead now for sure.
Do you kind of think, how everyone was saying, not going to play too big, not holding much going into CPI. Do you think people kind of overreacted, seeing as the market didn't really move much at all on this?
No, I think that the market's still digesting most of the move, and I think the market's still going to digest the move. See, here's the thing: is that we have a terrible inflation report, and if the market were to be down 2-3%, everybody would make money on their puts, everybody would make money on their shorts. So the market maker's job is to kind of create confusion and create liquidity. So like most CPI events, it doesn't happen right away. Like the move down doesn't happen right away. So I think it's going to take through the rest of the week to digest. And then I think the end of this month is where we see like a real move down.
And when is the next Fed meeting? Do you know?
Sorry, I had it pulled up earlier, but I have so many tabs open. Yeah, okay. Policy
26 to 27.
Yeah. So that is okay. Yeah. So that's 2 Wednesdays from now. So 2 weeks from now. So there's two key things. One, we have earnings report, which is coming up. That is banks start actually tomorrow, and then we also have the policy meeting. And that if two of those go wrong, I mean, market will be in the gutter, for sure. Like I said, I think that ultimately we still need to see 340 on the market. But that's more for like a fundamental side of things. But, I mean, just inside the short term is that the earnings report is probably going to be the one that kind of sets the mood for the rest of the month. Because like I said, is that if earnings is terrible, going to the policy meeting will be smoked. And if we're like, let's just say we're at 360 going to the policy meeting and we raise 75 or 100 basis points, we're going to get smoked real fast. So that's why I kind of think that this move up is kind of, same thing that we saw before on the last CPI meeting. This is kind of like a create liquidity for the next move down, stop everybody out of their puts and then make the move happen. Market takes time to digest these kind of things. And I think that right now market makers are just trying to not pay out as much premium as possible. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm a little frustrated today because I front ran this level on my, I took puts on it. There was like a big red candle down, some BS headline. And I thought that it was going to break my level. So I took pretty good sized puts. And oh my God, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 5-minute green candles in a row after that. I just got stopped out in like almost not immediately, but pretty fast. So I'm a little frustrated with that.
All right. So, but going into the next, so obviously earnings, the Fed, is that going to set the mood for the rest of summer? Or do you think it's just going to keep changing as the day by day changes?
Well, the good thing about the last 2 weeks of January, the fact that there is so much going on. July. Yes, July. Is that, we can make a pretty quick move down and then kind of like be done with it. Like we can make a 50-point move down in the next 3 weeks and kind of call it a day as far as, as far as like the, overall super bearish, like that could happen. In fact, if I was betting man, I'd be taking puts there. I'm not. But actually, that's not true. I do have a short equity position on SPY but like I said, is that I'm not taking puts or anything.
You're just telling people to add it to their position at 370 a week ago, man. You're fucking not for the people.
Yeah. I mean, listen, for the long term, I don't think 370 is bad. But for my short term SPY equity short at 389.52, yeah. Don't add.
Okay, feel that. All right. Well, another thing that came out yesterday is that the US dollar is the same price as the euro for the first time in 20 years. I think it was the euro that dropped the ball. Euro to dollar. Yeah. So they dropped what? Like 5% yesterday. So we're around equally about $1. So no more of the confusing stuff whenever you're at like Canadian groceries, where they're like Canadian price.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I actually don't know what fucking currency Canada uses. I'll be completely honest. Never been. You're closer. You're super close.
But yeah, so basically in recent times, let's take the last 20 years, if you went to Europe and you tried to get $100 worth of currency.
Oh, the math is so much easier now, yeah. that guy's job got so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it typically would cost you like, let's say $130 if you wanted to get $100 worth of euros. And so now it is, they're trading at parity, which means that, the dollar continued to go higher and the euro went down. And
USA,
so now,
right?
Yeah, now it's 1 for 1. So now if you want $100 worth of euros, it only costs you $100 instead of $130. And the reason that's important is because it doesn't really, it's not like a big, well, let me say, it does matter for like when you go abroad, but the bigger part to this is when we're exporting goods and importing goods. Because remember, if you're importing from a, let's say European company, it used to cost you a pretty good dollar. Now it's costing you less. And the same, and vice versa. And so a lot of that plays a part into different things. Now, currencies are heavily manipulated. Like this isn't as much cause and effect.
It's not safe like Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly. A safe haven asset. But currencies typically aren't. Not manipulated. Typically they are manipulated. And that's where it comes in that it would have been important to know this, if you are going abroad. But like I said, is that in the grand scheme of things, it puts way bigger of an impact on onto our homies that are doing the importing and the exporting.
All right. Well, in other news, we love talking about Elon and Tesla. The US finally hit where every new car sale, 5% of them are electric, which is apparently some fucking turning point, according to whoever makes the thresholds on electric vehicle sales. But so we just crossed the 5% one. I'm going to toss out some some countries. You guess what their EV share of new car is. So ours
Okay.
just hit 5%. So of every 100 cars, 5 of them are electric of new cars. All right.
Yeah.
What do you think it is for the UK?
23.
16. Close.
Okay.
So another, let's find. Okay, Germany.
18.
13 and a half. Here we'll get to some really progressive ones. Iceland. They don't sell
Ooh.
many cars, so it's pretty easy to manipulate this one.
41.
51, but this one's crazy. Norway, and they're all like their car, 83.5%. They hit the 5% mark in 2013. But
That's pretty surprising. The Iceland one I get because it's got gas has got to be fucking $1 billion up there.
Man, Iceland's the one where it's Iceland's the green one, Greenland's the ice one.
Yeah, but I'm still saying like I can't imagine that gas like what's the hang on before I talk.
No, dude. When it comes to geopolitical gas prices, that's where I fucking draw the line on speaking like what I'm talking about.
So right now gas in Iceland, whoa. Okay, hang on. We got to do a currency exchange.
Yeah, I see 295. I'm like, huh, that's expensive.
Yeah. Okay, so there's like 4 liters in a gallon, correct?
Wait, liters in a gallon? Oh God.
Right?
Edit this out.
Yeah, right.
It's 3.8. So yeah, around 4.
Okay, so that means that gas in Iceland right now is $7.24. So I guess it's not a huge increase from the United States, but still was that I was expecting more like closer to like a 60%. Closer to like, it being up 60%. I know that gas around here is like 483. So, it's a pretty significant increase. It's nothing like, it's nothing insane, but that makes sense to me about why there is more EV in Iceland than most places.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be interesting to see. I get like Elon loves to shit on everyone else's electric cars, but they're coming. Or is it just automated self-driving cars that he's not a fan of besides Teslas? He's got beef with someone, but I understand. I've got beef with other podcasts.
He's got beef with everybody. Yesterday, Elon's tweeting about Trump. Today, he's tweeting about Biden. I can't even keep up with who he's beefing with anymore.
Do you see Hunter Biden had another, like his phone leaked? So obviously he had the big computer leak a while ago. And then I mean, dude, counting fucking crack with hookers, I think is pretty American in my eyes. And I don't think we should intrude on his phone.
Yeah, wow. That's pretty fucking wild, honestly. Do you think he gets arrested?
No. Fuck no. Are you kidding me? Hell no. Mexico let El Chapo's son go. Fuck, we're not arresting Hunter Biden.
Yeah. I mean, oh man, just wild. I saw that that for an escort, he hang on. Let me before
we just commit slander on the president's son. Talk mad shit.
Okay, so
you think he just goes around like telling everybody like, yo, I'm the president's son, by the way?
Definitely.
Like
definitely gives me that vibe.
Biden, by the way.
Yeah. Do you know who my father is?
the hooker's like, no. Who? So much of it is just like, I feel like I missed a chapter of this book.
Yeah, like
it's like pretty dark.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I'm honestly a little bit
yeah, now if you dive into it, there's some pretty weird shit in there. So
okay, so here it is. So Biden was writing checks to ladies escort services.
I think we have to
during
confirm which Biden.
Hunter.
Oh, okay.
Hunter.
Right, okay.
Was writing checks to these young ladies, and inside the memo, so like people were claiming like tax fraud and like misrepresentation and shit like
Dude,
that.
I'm not committing tax fraud. I'm buying hookers.
And apparently he underneath the memo he put it as their as something else that it's not, and so he put it as his like therapy sessions underneath his memo, but he was using like an official
Like the Wolf of Wall Street. He's like, these appetizers must have cured cancer. He's like, well, they did cure cancer. So
that's exactly what I was thinking about when I read that, because it was like the memo was like an actual like rehabilitation center, like a therapy center or something, and that's what he was writing as the memo to these ladies.
Honestly,
and,
it's not a bad idea to open a strip club. You just have it named something rehab, and
yeah,
I mean, honestly. Or just, a name not like Sugar and Spice, something that it can show up on the credit card bill that wouldn't cause any issues. I don't know, just a fucking idea for any entrepreneurs listening.
Also, Hunter apparently, this is just putting this out there. Why has Biden commented on it or no?
Not on the phone thing. I don't even know if he commented on the computer thing. If anything, I'd be like, yeah, dude, look, man, raise the shit head happens to the best of us. Like, honestly, I think you just have to fucking chalk that one up to the game, being like, damn, what my best work.
Yeah.
He just dropped. He really set himself to get people to stop talking about him falling off the bicycle.
Yeah. Could you imagine? He's the one. He's like, listen, son.
He's like, I know people are roasting me for falling off my bike. They're calling me training wheels and shit. Like, we're gonna have to. I'm throwing you under the bus, my boy. You've caused this family enough issues.
Oh wow, just like a little. Oh, whoa. Hunter was sleeping with his
that was the granddaughter thing I was telling you about. She's like 17 then. Yeah, that's what I was like, I don't even know if I should talk about it. It just sounds weird. Pretty fucked up. And then he's talking to...
Yeah, it says Hunter opened up about how his and Haley's relationship came to be 2 years after his brother's death from brain cancer and the criticism the couple faced at the time. I think people were confused by
Haley's not the Natalie's the 17-year-old. Haley is the
wait. So which one was he with? The mom or the daughter?
I think like both, dude. I don't fucking know, man.
Wow. This guy, man. I'll tell you what, man. Really.
So I think there were texts in it. And again, I don't know the legitimacy of all
why
this.
he and Haley split in 2019. Hunter simply revealed that the relationship didn't quote work.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of decisions that I probably shouldn't have made, Hunter said on CBS Point. There were a lot more compassion and understanding from the people that knew me, but that was a horrible time too. Wow. I honestly, this is like a can of worms that is just ridiculous.
So obviously there's, family line. I don't keep up with the whole family tree, but yeah, no, apparently he like opened up about how he was like, yeah, fucking probably shouldn't have been addressing this relationship. And then it was like it's fucking weird, dude. I don't know, man. I never really dove into the first little computer hacking scandal aside from accidentally like seeing him smoke crack on Twitter every now and then. But this one was pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, no.
That being said, speaking of people that could potentially be in law trouble, Elon, good old Elon. Did you read about that?
Oh wait, before I know I tweeted this, but you know how he had another kid and all this?
Yeah.
And now he's pulling out of the Elon deal and how it's not like Elon to pull out.
That is fun. You tweeted that? I'll go like it.
It was from like a week ago, man. But yeah, what do you do this time, man?
So he's backing out of the Twitter deal. What do you think? I mean, you think that he can weasel his way out of the Twitter deal or no?
Well, we talked about it last week, but fuck. Like you said,
well, I should preface it by saying that that before I thought that it was because he could prove that there was 5% bots.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's not proven.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of wild.
I guess it's how do you prove their bot? Like you could say, hey, I have these accounts that just tweet out Bitcoin addresses all day. But being able to confirm or not their bots would take a little bit more than just being like, just because these guys aren't active, or just because these guys don't post, or just because these guys don't do this, doesn't mean they're necessarily bots or don't count as users, and it shouldn't justifiably lower our evaluation.
Yeah, I don't know what to think on that. Like, what do you? I don't know. Do you think that he gets out of it, or you think that they end up making or you think that they end up he ends up having to buy them?
Well, I mean, how many of like big deals have we seen like this that have been so public? Like usually when we see shit like this, it's like we see like the final outcome, not like like the person openly being like, "I want to buy this," and then here's my price, and he buys it, and the people are just watching it go down.
Yeah. I don't know what to think. I mean, I honestly I feel like he can weasel his way out of this one.
And dude, you're the richest guy in the world. The thing is, like, just stop being so public about shit. Just fucking, just live a life of peace. Get to Mars, man.
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't just like.
I think the thing is, like, dude, I love using the internet too, so I'm with him. I get like, and the thing is, like, he's one. Nobody can tell you shit, Like, if someone says something mean to you, be like, dude, I have $500 billion. I could buy your state and send it somewhere else. I don't know. So we'll see what Elon decides to do. I know this is a little late on this worldly news, but two kind of big things. I know you wanted to get into Sri Lanka. Did you wanted to touch on Sri Lanka, and then we also had this happened like a week ago. But the former prime minister of Japan, I think it was the longest tenured prime minister, was assassinated. So
that's a real shame.
Yeah, crazy news. It seems like didn't really get like a ton of attention over here, which seems like oh shit, my cat scared the fuck out of me. It like if that happened to one of our presidents or something, it seems like God, it'd be so big. But then again, it's just because we live here, so who knows? But you want to touch on Sri Lanka real quick?
Yeah. So with Sri Lanka, am I saying that? Sri Lanka?
Sri Lanka. Yeah, dude. I heard it in a Nicki Minaj song. What a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka. She said that's about my extent of knowledge about Sri Lanka. I'll be completely honest.
This is something that is a direct correlation between higher prices. Now Sri Lanka kind of had like other things going on. However, this is the first, I'll say, this is the first like shoe to drop of developing countries, and one that we will start to see more of if prices do not fall at all. This is definitely something that can be what's what I'm trying to say, that this is something that can become more than just a like one-time thing. They don't have any oil currently as a country, and they don't get any until I believe next Friday. In addition to this, they declared bankruptcy, and different from like if you and I were to declare bankruptcy inside America, when a nation goes bankrupt, there's not like, especially a developing nation where, they really don't have many resources. I mean, where's their leverage? Like, what is Sri Lanka's leverage? There really is no leverage. And this is why I kind of get scared when we talk about, the Bitcoin king himself. And we talk about Ecuador, because Ecuador is like really not that far off from the same fate. They sold bonds to buy more Bitcoin.
That was El Salvador.
Or El Salvador. Yes. Sorry. That's my bad. little tired. So El Salvador, they're not too far off of the same fate, potentially, especially if Bitcoin continues to fall, or really if Bitcoin just becomes stagnant for many years. And so that's why, this is something that can really become a reality pretty quickly for a lot of developing nations. Like the Sri Lankan president fled the entire country to the Maldives, Maldives. And, there's a video of him literally running onto his boat, like running. Like this is like a grown man running. They also are now trying to impose a curfew. I mean, the videos are just wild of everyone storming the just storming the, I don't know if it's called the palace, but the residency of the president. People are starting to go hungry. It's just a tough situation. And like I said, this is one of just the first dominoes to fall of potentially many. The other thing is that, the prime minister stepped in to run the country, and he had told the military, quote, do whatever is necessary to restore order. Inside.
Nice. I love martial law.
Yeah. I mean, it's just not a good situation. Like I said, is that, the country's bankrupt. They have no money for oil. People are starting to go hungry. There's no trust in the government, obviously. And there's 21 million people that are starting there's 21 million people that are starting to go hungry, and there's shortages of items, flour, milk powder, and inflation hovers at around 80% there. Like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Man, 10% doesn't sound that fucking bad anymore.
No, not at all. And so they did basically. And so I'm just going to read directly from Bloomberg. And this is what Bloomberg says. What is the cause of the crisis? The country went bankrupt as a result of the administration's economic policies, which include imposing tax cuts that reduced government revenues just months before the pandemic wreaked havoc on the economy. Coupled with heavy debt and rising commodity prices, Sri Lanka fell deeper into crisis. With foreign exchange reserves, it struggled to pay for food and fuel. Officials raised rates, devalued the currency, restricted some imports, and sought bailout talks with International Monetary Fund. Now, again, when you're a developing country, you have absolutely no leverage, and your country isn't making any money. Like I said, is that things turn bad really fast, and that's what we saw. Again, is that Sri Lanka also can't produce their own food. So, that's like a whole nother part to this, that if you're importing everything and you can't import food, I mean, what are you going to do? You have no leverage, and you have no fuel. It's just an ugly situation. And honestly, I really don't know what they do. Maybe pray for like a bailout.
Yeah, like how you just treat these countries like they're companies. Like, you're like, oh, I guess I'll have to declare bankruptcy or do an offering or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real shame, honestly.
We'll have to do a reverse split of fucking Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I just really don't know. Yeah, I mean, I really just don't know what you do. Yeah, I don't know.
The British conquistadors are licking. The conquistadors are licking their lips looking at this one, boys.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the International Monetary Fund bails them out.
Well,
I don't know.
I guess we can end this episode with an inconvenient. I know, after talking about third world countries issues, or developing countries, excuse me, as the politically correct podcast. Doesn't exactly sound like the best time to talk about this issue that I'm about to bring up, but this was actually pretty wild. Okay, so I woke up yesterday, probably like 45 minutes before market opened, to the sound of like someone talking over a speaker. And it was like, hey, fire department's here. Everyone needs to evacuate. You can't use the elevator. I'm like, dog, I'm on the 37th floor. I had to, with my fucking dog. I was like, I guess I'll just fucking, my cat's just going to be a sacrifice if this shit blows up. I'll just add emotional.
Little cat?
Yeah, little cat.
She was the podcast mascot for a year.
I brought Lomac down. He's more expensive. But so yeah, I literally poked my head in there and I was like, I'm not hearing like a great migration right now. I tried my best to just ignore it, and I eventually had to just fucking do it, man. And if anything, it just shows you how powerful the human body is. I didn't think I could make it down 37 flights of stairs with a 2.5 pound dog in my hands, but I did it. And
you did it pretty fast too, right? I mean, you did it in like 11 minutes.
Well, dude, I was worried about getting fucking blown up. I was hauling ass, dude. I was like skipping and shit, skipping stairs, like pushing over old people like on the way to work. I was like, out of my way, Tom. But yeah, and about by the time I got down there, it was like all over. So that was fucking sweet. My legs hurt. I don't feel good, but whatever. Believe in yourself and you can make it down the stairs before your apartment building explodes. So
nice.
Take that one to the bank with you. All right, guys. We love you and we'll see you next time.
Pennies Going in Raw is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.